Hi everyone, I'm Liz and welcome back to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. Hi everyone, welcome back to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch for another Flosstube episode. Why did I say my name again? I just told you my name. Hi! How about them Longhorns, huh? Football season is back, and UT played Alabama last night and won. I just hit my hand on my desk, and they won. It was a very exciting game. First NFL Sunday is here. If you didn't know, I'm a really big sports fan, a really big football fan in particular. So yeah, Cowboys, Sunday Night Football. Let's go. I hope everybody has had a good couple of weeks. It's been really busy around here. I have been doing a lot of things though. A lot of stuff. A lot of knitting, of course, because I'm just way back into knitting. But I've also been sewing and doing some wool applique and cross stitch. And yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff to show you. Life-wise, is there anything interesting happening? Oh, it's little baby Benny's second birthday. So, you guys, I mean, I've been doing videos since before Ben was born. This is the baby quilt. I'll go find a picture of the baby quilt I made him 2 years ago. You might remember that. But yes, little baby Ben is now 2. And we are having his second birthday party this evening at my sister's house. So that'll be fun. My parents got home last night from their Alaskan cruise. Mom talked about it in the last video. And she ran into one of you guys on the cruise. What was your name? Hold on, I have it in Instagram. Diana. Hi, Diana. I just looked it up on Instagram. Yes, so when I saw the comments from last week's video about everybody talking about Alaska cruises, how much they love them and how many they've been on, I was like, Mom, you're going to run into somebody who has seen you on my video. And she's like, no. And we were joking about it. And then she did. So I love it. Thank you, Diana, for finding my mom and saying hi. Yeah, so anyways, they just got home from the cruise. So we'll see them tonight. Can't wait to hear all about that. And other than that, I'm going to Phoenix in a few days with my friend Liz Matthews. I cannot wait. So I'm in kind of prep mode for that, trying to pack, figure out what I want to bring, what kind of projects I want to bring. Because it's only 3 nights, so I need to pare it down and just bring a couple of things. And we're going to be busy. We have so much shopping we want to do, and we're doing a meet and greet at the Attic on Friday, September 15th from 4 to 7 p.m. If you're already a shopper at the Attic, you probably got their newsletter. Jean put it in there that we will be there. And she did ask that if you plan on coming that Friday night to just give the shop a call to RSVP so they know how many people are coming. And I think they're going to have snacks and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys who might be local to the Attic and are going to stop by. I can't wait. Okay, let's get right into what I've been up to because I have lots of things to show you. And I have one finish to share with you this week, and it's a knitting finish. I finished my Barbie Land socks. Oh, they look so good. So these are a vanilla magic loop sock pattern from the Crazy Sock Lady, and I knit these. Gotta keep my knits and stitches. It can all be stitches, right? I knit these with a Bumblebee Acres Coquette sock, and I used size 1.5 US. I need to get back into the habit of knowing what the millimeters are for knitting needles. I've noticed, I think most people talk about knitting needles in millimeters now because that's more universal than the American sizes that are kind of arbitrary. So I don't remember what size 1.5 is, but these are a US 1.5 needle that I stitched these on. And I did a little shorty sock because, to be honest, while I love how the taller knit socks look, I prefer to wear short socks. So I was like, let me just knit short socks. And it does leave me with a lot of leftover yarn. Let me have it in my little drawstring bag that I made a few videos ago. So I really feel like I have about half of this yarn left over, which is like, okay, cool, because I could make 2 identical pairs of socks, but I usually don't really want to do that. But my sister Lynn, her and her husband and kids are going skiing over Christmas when they're here in the US. They live overseas in Dubai. And she asked if she could make Isla, her 3-year-old, some little ski socks out of this leftovers. And I was like, yeah, of course. And to be honest, I might just knit her the little ski socks because I think she was thinking maybe that she would knit them when they came the week before they leave. But I'm like, let me just knit them. So I'll probably knit little Isla some ski socks out of this leftovers. It's so cute. I don't really have much of the mini left over. It's just a little ball of yarn. There's probably like 2 or 3 grams of this mini left, but I could probably just do a little pink border at the cuff like I did for mine and then just knit the rest of the sock without an accent color. Or I might have another mini in my stash actually. So we'll see. But Mel, if you're watching this, I'm going to knit Isla some little socks, I think, with the leftovers. Yeah, do I have anything else to say about this? These are 64 stitches, knit 2, purl 2 for about 20 rows, and then just plain vanilla stockinette. So yeah, absolutely love these. This is the 2nd pair of socks I've knit in the last month, and I have a lot more sock yarn that I've bought. I'll show you some in haul. I have more on the way. So yeah, my sock knitting bug, well, I mean, my knitting bug has come back, but I forgot how much I loved knitting socks. They're so portable. They're so fun. They're just satisfying. And yeah, anyways, love it. And now I've got a nice empty sock bag ready for my next project. Okay, let's talk about cross-stitch whips. I have 3 of them this week, and the first one was my whip go goal from August that I needed to finish. And you will have seen in the last video that Mom gave me a homework assignment to finish it in the last 5 days of August. I didn't do it. Sorry, Mom. I did get it done, but just not in the month of August. It's fine. I can now check the goal off my whip go board, but it did kind of trail into September. So the project is Joya Noel by Kathy Barrick. And this is the one where I saw the model in Las Vegas at the cross stitch shop there, Stitcher's Paradise, and fell in love with it. This is, I think, from 2009 or 10. It's gorgeous. And I had set myself a 5-day goal, 5 days of stitching. And here is where it's at now. Let me just... So good. I am stitching this. Ooh, I forgot to look at my fabric. Dang. I'll put it on the screen. And I'm using all of her called for NPI flosses. So NPI on, I think it's a 36 count. I will have already put it on the screen. It's fine. And yeah, I think it's really pretty. So to be honest, I only did 2 or 3 strands each day I worked on this. So it didn't get as much progress as I would have liked, but I had a lot of stuff going on these past 2 weeks, and I also spent a lot of time knitting. So that's okay. I did get my 5 days on this, and it's gorgeous. And I'll probably pull this back out around Christmas for when I really am like focused on stitching Christmas things, because this is really pretty. So yeah, that is Joya Noel, and that is all of my August Whip Go goals complete. September, I'll talk about September Whip Go after I show you the rest of my cross stitch whips, because I have 2 new starts now to share with you. Okay, so then on September 1st, I wanted to participate in the BAP to School Sal. I talked about it in my last video repeatedly. BAP stands for Big Ass Project. And the big ass project that I started is the Fragments in Time 2023 series by Summer House Stitchworks. And the actual chart I started with is this one right here. I think it's number 3 in the series. And this is an 8-part series, and there is a free border to stitch them all together that's available on the Summer House Stitchworks website. So I will link that down below. And yeah, so, oh wait, I'm sorry, this is number 4. The layout is 4 and 4, and I like to start in the top right. So I started with number 4 and the border. And this is where I got with Fragments and Time. It's so beautiful. I really, really love the colors. It's actually like a pretty pared down color palette. Like I think it's only maybe 12, I put the threads over there, but I think maybe it's only 10 to 12 colors. And these pieces are really full coverage. I think they're taken, the images she says are taken from like a tapestry project. So something more kind of like a needlepoint that was more like full coverage. And so they're pretty dense smalls and lots of color changes, but like not an overly large color palette. I don't know. I just really appreciate like how much variation and how much color with a pretty limited thread palette you can get. That sentence wasn't in the right order, but either way, I'm just really enjoying stitching on this one, and I think it's really beautiful, and I really love the colors. So I'm using all of her called for overdyed colors. And I am using a very cherished piece of linen that I have in my collection because it is Lakeside Linen's 40 count vintage light exemplar. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 36 count. I just double checked the tag. It's a 36 count vintage light exemplar from Lakeside. And it's just one of the classic sampler fabrics, and it looked really nice with the threads. I auditioned a few different fabrics, but I decided that this one would be perfect. And I think it's only going to take up, so it'll be the full width of my fat quarter, but I think it'll, you know, I'll have more than half of it left over to use on a different project. So I'm really happy about that. This linen is so hard to find, but I'll tell you my trick, even though I'm sure it'll prevent me from getting more of this in the future, but that's okay. On 123 Stitch, I'm sure if you go there right now, this fabric is out of stock, but what I did is just put in my email address to say, notify me when you get it in stock. It happened at like a year after I signed up. And then I got the fabric because I saw that it was back in stock instantly, went and added it to my cart, etc. So, I mean, you can do that with anything on the 123 Stitch website and a lot of different cross stitch websites, but that's just my tip for, as long as you have patience, you know, you can find the fabric you're looking for. It's just going to take a while. So yeah. Anyways, absolutely in love with this. Lauren, the New Hampshire stitcher, is the creator of the Back to School Sal. You should go follow her because she just started a gorgeous, I think it's a Hands Across the Sea. Oh, now I'm doubting myself. I can't remember. She started a gorgeous sampler as her back to school project. And check out the hashtag because there are all kinds of amazing, beautiful, big projects that people are starting. So yeah, that one's mine, and I love her. And I think I'm going to take this one with me. I don't know. I need to assess all my rest of my projects, but I kind of want to take this one with me on my trip to keep working on it. We'll see. Okay. That was this one. Okay, next up, this one wasn't technically back to school, but I kind of considered it another back to school project because it's huge and I really wanted to start it. And it is my stocking by Cooler Design Studio. So I'm going to put the image right here of the music room stocking. I think it's the Heirloom Stocking series is kind of what it's called, and then they have multiple rooms. So I've already done the sewing room and the study for me and Rob, and now I'm doing the music room for my mom. And I got started, and I feel like this looks like I did nothing, but I swear I worked on this 2 or 3 days. Here's my little start on my stocking. And there's just like, I think something like 60 colors in this. And so this is probably already 10 to 15 different colors and little tiny amounts. I like to start in the top right, like I already mentioned, but I really wanted to get down to the fun stuff. So I just kind of did enough to get myself like in the right position so I could count down. And then I could start on this little, like, I think it's like a little feather tree with birds in it that's sitting on top of a piano. So yeah, these are supposed to be little birds. You won't be able to see until I get back stitching in. I do like to do back stitching as I go, just because I don't like to leave it all to the end, because then I'm just so sick of back stitching. But I can't back stitch until I have all the stitches in a certain area. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to put back stitch in and then have to go back and add X's next to the back stitching. So my goal and my kind of like method for stitching these is to kind of work in a section and do everything in like a little area and then backstitch within that section and then spread out from there. So I'll probably do everything on top of this piano, and then once I start the piano, I'll be able to backstitch everything that's on top of the piano. I don't know. That's kind of my plan. That's how I did the other two. I am stitching this exactly how I stitched my other two, which is on the 25 count mushroom Lugana that the pattern calls for, and I'm using 3 strands of the called for DMC over 2 fabric threads. And that results in like a really thick, you know, full coverage looking stitches, which is not normally what I'm into, but the other 2 stockings turned out so beautifully stitched like this that of course I'm just going to stitch this one the same way. 3 strands is so bulky, and I know I could probably get away with 2 strands on the 25 count, but I already did the other 2 with 3 strands. I'm going to do this one with 3 strands. And what else do I have to say about this one? Oh, I'm stitching this with my friend Liz. Hello from Liz Matthews. And she started the hashtag Stitch a Stocking Sal. And yeah, anybody else who wants to join in with us, who's stitching a stocking already or wants to start one, is pulling out a whip that's like, you know, 15 years old and you're trying to finish it, get it out and join us on Instagram and post your pictures using Stitch a Stocking Sal so we can all see the stockings that everyone is working on. I need to get a little bit more progress on this, and then I'll put a picture on my Instagram. Right now it doesn't look like anything. But yeah, that is my stocking. Okay, and then I wanted to talk about September whip go for a second. When I looked at the numbers that were called, I got really excited because one of them I had already finished, and that was my Christmas sampler from Prairie Schooler. That was the night before Christmas one I did, which I still need to get a frame for. I'm gonna look online later because I really want to get that one framed so I can put it up for Christmas. Yeah, so I'd already finished that one. And then the second goal was to work on my early Americans. And so you might remember, I feel like this was in July, maybe June or July, I thought that this early Americans was one of my whip go goals and like talked about it in a whole video, and then realized that wasn't on the board, or that wasn't that month's called for goal, so I didn't work on it. But now it got called for September, and I will show you where I'm at with my early American series. And I believe, let me just double check because I have my whip list here. I think this is my oldest whip. Yeah, I started this on December 1st of 2019, so almost 4 entire years ago. And it's not close to being finished. It's about halfway. Is it halfway? It might be less than halfway. It's less than halfway. And I don't know why. It's beautiful. I don't like, it's not like I don't enjoy working on this. Sorry, I didn't iron this one when I ironed my whip, so it's a little bit of a mess. But here is the Early American series by Little House Needleworks. It's a series, it's a 9-part series, and you can stitch them all together like this. So you can see I have the whole right side done, and then I was working on that center square. This is what the center square looks like and what the whole kind of chart series looks like. So my goal for September is to finish 1 square. And so yes, I could just finish that center square and call my goal done, because I wrote my goals in a way that if I just want to finish the center square because that's all I have time for, great. That meets my goal. It is on the board twice, so you know, it would get this one finished and another one finished. So we'll see what I have time for in September. I do think this will be one I bring with me on the trip to get started. Shoot, and I want to bring my stocking too, because Liz and I, you know, we can stitch on our stockings together at the pool at our hotel. And I probably should not bring more than 2 cross-stitch projects for a 3-day trip. Yeah. Whatever. I'll figure that out. I'll share it with you guys. Let's see, that's next weekend. So then the weekend after was when I would normally film my Flosstube. So yeah, that's when I'd be back to like recap my trip and show you what I actually brought and stitched on. But yeah, so I'm doing this with all of the called for overdyed flosses. This fabric is a 36 count mystery Zweigart. I got this at my local needlework shop in Copperas Cove, which is Needleworks, and they don't really label their fabrics, or at least they didn't back in 2019 or 2018 when I bought this. So I didn't write down, you know, I wasn't doing Flosstube. I didn't write anything down. I believe this is a hand dye. It just looks like one. But it does have like the Zweigart, you know, orange thread through the selvage. And I know it's 36 count. But other than that, I couldn't tell you what this fabric is. Other than really, really pretty. I really do like this. It's like a dark neutral. And I think it looks really great with the patterns. I think this pattern calls for something lighter. Oh, it calls for Tin Roof by Weeks Dye Works. So I know this isn't Tin Roof. But I guess it's not unsimilar to Tin Roof. I feel like it's a little bit darker than what they called for. Yeah. So anyways, what was I talking about? This is a goal for September, and then my other September goal is already done. So that's awesome. And then I'll just have 6 goals left for October, November, and December. So I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to stay on track and be able to finish out my WIPGO goals for the year. Yeah. And do I have any? Oh yeah, there's some big ones left on this list. Just looking, I have 10 more days left to do on Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. I have 10 days on Equality Sampler by Plum Street Samplers. It has not come out this year because I have it on my board and it hasn't been called yet. I have another one of these squares. I have my Celebrate Love by Madame Chantilly, which was my wedding piece. That's on the board twice and it hasn't been called once yet, so that'll come up a lot. And then my Peace on Earth sampler that I finished I finished 10 days in July. That'll come, or was that 10 days in August? I don't know. It was recently. And then that'll come back for 10 days at some point in the end of the year. So a lot of fun things left on WIPGO. And I have this whole project in like the worst project bag I've ever made because I didn't use any interfacing. So it's just like sad floppy fabric and kind of cheap vinyl. I really like the By Annie vinyl. I know it's more expensive than other brands, but it looks a lot nicer than whatever cheap, you know, Hobby Lobby or Joann's vinyl this is. Okay, so let's talk about wool applique for a second because I haven't done any in a while, but I did. I bought a kit from Pine Mountain Designs. I think the store is called Pine Needles in Utah. And yes, Sandra Workman, Pine Mountain Designs. And it is called Jack's Cat in a Party Hat. And it's a little felt ornament. So, so cute. So it's shown here on this little like cheese board, but the instructions tell you to like make it into an ornament. But I want it to be on like a little cheese board like that. I went through my stash, including the lovely boards that, why am I blanking on your name? The lovely lady sent me last week from her Poppy Handmade. I'll put all the info right here. She sent me some really cute little boards, but this piece is just a little too tall for it. So I need to look on Etsy and see if I can find the right size little board for this because I really, really like this finish. So I got everything cut out and fused into place. Look how cute that is. He looks a little crazy because I haven't done all the stitches and embroidered his eyes and whiskers and everything yet. But yeah, I got all of the wool felt traced and cut and fused down. And now I just need to add all the little blanket stitches and embroidery stitches. And then the pattern calls for you to double face this green and cut it out 1/4 inch away from the cat and then blanket stitch the green down. And that's like, you would sandwich like a hanger in between it. So that would become like your ornament. But I think I want to mount mine on a little board. So we'll see how I finish this. But for now, I'll go through and like stitch all of like the orange pumpkin and the black cat and like do all those details. And then I'll figure out how I'm going to display it. So yeah, super happy to be doing a little bit of wool applique again. I have I have a few cute little kits. They're mostly Christmassy, but I just love this Halloween one. So I was really happy to pull this out. The reason I did pull it out is because I started decorating for Halloween. and it is still over 100 degrees here in Texas. In fact, next week, I think the day I leave to go to Phoenix, it's supposed to be like 85, 88 degrees here, which might not sound like anything, but that's a fall day here because we have not been anything lower than like 95 in 3 months. So I was like, oh my gosh, how exciting. It's going to be like 85 degrees. And then I looked, and I think in Phoenix that day that we land is supposed to be like 106 degrees. So I will not get to enjoy any of the lovely fall weather. But that's okay. I just thought it was funny that I was like, oh, we're finally going to get a cold day. Nope, not for me. I'm going to go back into the desert. Anyways, despite the 100-degree heat, I felt like decorating for Halloween. So I pulled out my Halloween wall quilts, all my cross stitch, all my little decor stuff, and set that up around the house the past couple of days. And so I took pictures for you guys, but it was really inspiring me to want to do more Halloween things. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, I have this little kit. And so I pulled that out and got that started. And honestly, this part for me is really fun. Like, I like cutting out the little tiny pieces and like being really precision. Who would guess that somebody who loves crafting as much as I do likes precision and tiny details? Yeah. So this part was like, it probably took about an hour to get everything fused and cut out and on here and all that stuff. And then it'll probably take me, I'm going to guess, a couple of hours to hand embroider the blanket stitches and the little details. So anyways, yeah, I'll get this done hopefully in the next couple of weeks and get it displayed for Halloween. Okay, I did a little bit of sewing over the last 2 weeks, and I am working on a baby quilt for my cousin Abby, who is pregnant with her first baby boy, and yeah, I'm really excited to be making a baby quilt. I decided that I wanted to film kind of a start to finish, let's make a baby quilt video, and so it's slowing me down slightly because rather than just coming in here and like doing a few things really quickly, I need to like set up for filming. So I need to like carve out some dedicated time to like film and work on this because I need to have this done by October 1st for her baby shower. So that's coming up quick. But I have made a little bit of progress. So I got all of my fabrics cut out. I think did I share them with you? No. Okay. So let me start at the beginning of the story. Last weekend, I was getting ready. I think it was like Saturday morning. I was getting ready to go run some errands, and I got a video call from my nephew, Andy, who wanted to come over and do Legos with me. And I explained to him that I was about to go run errands and that he couldn't come over right now. And he got so devastatingly sad about it. And Allison, my sister, is texting me after we hung up that she was like, do you need a hug? And he was like, no. You know, anyways, he was really upset that I didn't have time for him to come over and do Legos with me. And so I asked her, I was like, well, does he want to go to the quilt store and to Hobby Lobby and, you know, maybe to get some lunch with me? And she's like, yeah, absolutely, he does. So last Saturday, Andy came with me to the quilt store and helped me pick out fabrics for Abby's quilt. Mostly he wanted to sit in the comfy armchair and watch YouTube while I shopped, which was fine. And then we went to Hobby Lobby and oh my gosh, we got bracelet making supplies and he made some adorable bracelets for himself and his brother and his friend. And anyways, it was a really fun day. But the point of the story is I got fabric to make Abby's quilt. So technically this is a little bit of haul too because I haven't shown you these fabrics. Hopefully I put in a picture of what the fabrics look like because they're all cut up. I have a dark blue, a medium blue, a light blue, and a white. And I am doing 2 different styles of blocks. I'm doing an hourglass block and a 9 patch, and it'll be in like an alternating design. And of course I will give you all the details and measurements and everything like in the video. It'll probably come out in early October because I need to have the quilt done by October 1st. So look for that in early October. But I made a few tester blocks. So I made one of my 9 patches. And it looks like this. I think it's so cute. And I made 2 of my hourglass blocks that look like this. So just imagine a cute little alternating grid, you know, like this. Yeah, and then last night I had I had like an hour to film. So I got started making all of my hourglass blocks, and the first step is to make these half square triangles. So I have all my half square triangles made, and now I can sew them into the hourglass blocks. And then I have all the pieces ready to go to make my 9 patch blocks. So very exciting. I don't know how much I'm going to get done this week just because I leave in a few days and I still need to pack. Of course, I need to edit this video and get it up, and I need to do all my work at work so I can leave and not feel like I'm leaving stuff undone at work. It's like, you know, it's so much fun to go on vacation, but it is like the few days before leading up to it, for me anyways, are always so stressful. So this will probably be on hold until I come back. We'll see. Maybe I'll have time to make the rest of these hourglass blocks before I leave. I don't really know. But yeah, that is the sewing that I have been working on. Oh, I should mention I was inspired by a quilt pattern. I think it's called Gigi's Thimble is the blog I found it on. I'll put the picture up of the quilt pattern I was inspired by. I'm not following her quilt pattern, but I am following, like, I stole the idea to do an hourglass and a 9 patch from hers. Hers is a little more, I mean, cool and complicated because it's like an on point X block. So I simplified mine and I'm just doing a normal 9 patch. But yeah, I will share all the measurements and details and even like fabric requirements. I'm kind of like writing this out for myself, like it's a pattern that anyone can follow it. Yeah, because I share these videos with you guys, and I know, you know, somebody out there might also want to make this as a baby quilt. So I will share all of that in that video. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about my sewing. Let's talk about knitting. I've been knitting a lot. I finished that pair of socks. I haven't cast on new ones, but I have like 4 new sock yarns that I would love to cast on. But I'm trying to like work on other projects too and not be so obsessive. So let's start with a new project. I put it in this sock bag. So I have 2 sock bags, and this one is overflowing. This really does not fit in here, but I'm just kind of making it fit because I don't really have any other knitting bags. I need to make myself some more. So in this bag, let me pull out the yarn. This is the scarf that I was talking about in my last video that I really wanted to start. My mom was like, not until you finish your whip go goal. I started it before I finished the whip go goal, but that's okay. The whip go goal got done. This is Hedgehog Fibers. Ooh, it's all shiny. Merino Aran or Aran, I don't know. And it's the color Filigree. And the yarn looks like this. This is the only skein that I haven't broken into yet. And I am over halfway done with this scarf project. So I am knitting the boyfriend scarf, I believe. I'll put it up here. I think it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And oh, let's stop for a second. Let's talk about Ravelry. I have a Ravelry page, you guys. I will link it for you in the description box below. I'm pretty sure let me just admit my ignorance. I used Ravelry 10 years ago when I was knitting heavily, 15 years ago. But like, I think I've had a Ravelry account since 2007. I don't know what year it opened, but I can't imagine it was much earlier than 2007. I'm pretty sure I joined it as soon as I could. Or maybe 2006. I don't know, but I went back and found like when I started my profile. But I never, like, I had a few friends who used it, and I know we like followed each other, but I never really used Ravelry that much other than just looking up patterns. So to be honest, I don't really know what it means when you follow somebody on Ravelry. So you guys are welcome. I'm going to link my profile. But I want to keep that more as like project notes, right? The same thing I do for cross stitch. Why is there not a Ravelry for cross stitch? I've thought about that before. If I had time and any kind of coding ability, I would try to make a Ravelry for cross stitch, but that's anyways. Somebody out there do it. Anyways, so I'm gonna link my Ravelry page. I have created projects for all of my knitting whips, so you can see like yarn, needle size, pattern, like all the details, because maybe I'll forget to mention it in these videos sometimes. And yeah. Okay. That's enough about Ravelry. I just wanted to mention that I do have a page. Oh, and also I didn't remove any of my old projects. I was never good in the past about updating all of my projects. So there's only probably about 5 to 10 old projects from like 2007 to 2013, vintage. But honestly, I think it's kind of fun to go see those old pictures. If you want to see some old knitting pictures featuring me, go have a look. It's very funny. Anyways, so this pattern is, I think, the boyfriend scarf, and I will put that up here. And yeah, I got it started. I don't know what else to say. I'm so bad at talking about knitting right now. It is kind of like a broken fisherman's rib, I believe, and done in this super crazy, colorful yarn that I'm obsessed with. Let's make sure it's getting in focus there. I mean, isn't that cool? So I'm about halfway done. I'm over 3 feet with it. And the first ball got me like 25 inches of length with this width I'm doing, which is perfect because I was trying to make sure that my scarf was at least 6 feet long and I had 3 balls to work with. So it's going to be perfect. So I'm done with one ball. I'm halfway through the second ball. And I just feel like this is going to be the coziest, squishiest, best scarf. That of course won't get that much use here, but luckily my in-laws live in a cold place and we're going visit in mid-December. So it should be nice and cold and I should be able to use my wonderfully warm, chunky scarf. Yeah, so I'm really excited. This will definitely need to be blocked because the edges are kind of folding in on themselves. But I'm not too worried about it. I think it'll be great once I get it washed and blocked, and I just really love it. I am stitching this on US 8. I don't remember the millimeters. Is it 8, a 5mm needle? I can't remember. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about this, but this is my new favorite knitting project, and I've been knitting on it a ton because, you know, I love it. And, you know, it's not like it's going to get cold anytime soon, so I just need to have this done by December. So I don't know why I'm so, like, obsessively knitting on this, but I have been, and I really enjoy it. Oh, here. Does my needle tell me how many millimeters it is? Let's see if I can tell you. 5mm. I was right. Okay. I need to learn all my needle sizes again, but yes, 5mm needles. Now let me see if I can shove it back in this tiny project bag. This really is perfectly sized for socks or like a hat, but not for a full chunky scarf. So it just kind of busts out the top. Okay, I also had another new knitting start because Rob actually wanted me to knit him something and I was very excited about it. He requested a hat and he wanted just like a little beanie, like a close fitting beanie, nothing that like was loose, nothing with a fold up brim, just like a pull on hat, but he wanted it striped. And so he asked for like kind of a charcoal color and like a deep red color. And so here are the yarns that I'm using. This one is a Sweet Georgia, is it called Tough Sock, I believe? Tough Sock. And then this one is my favorite Madeline Tosh sock in the color Tart, which is actually one of the colors in that blanket that I'm knitting. I haven't worked on that in the last 2 weeks, but this is one of the colors from it. He actually saw the color and was like, oh, I want like that kind of color. And I was like, well, perfect. I think they make it in a sock color. So it's a sock weight hat. It is the Musselburgh hat from Isolde Teague. And I've seen this all over knitting YouTube. I've been watching a lot of knitting videos lately and everybody loves this hat. And I was like, well, I want to try one. And so basically you knit the hat in like a long tube and then it goes inside itself. It's like a double layer hat. So one half of mine will be solid charcoal and then the other half will be striped with red. And then that way he can wear it striped side out or reverse it and just wear it charcoal side out if that's what he wants to do. And that will mean that I have enough of this left over to do a pair of socks for myself because I'll just need enough to do some striping and then I'll have the rest of this whole ball left over for socks. So anyways, I thought that was kind of fun. So I got this started just a couple of days ago, and I'm knitting it on 12-inch circulars. I don't love 16-inch circulars on hats because I feel like I'm pulling the yarn too much. So I thought I would try 12-inch. I'm undecided on if I like these 12-inch. I think I mentioned to you guys a while back that I tried 9-inch circulars on a sock. And I don't remember if I talked about it in a video or not, but I did not enjoy it. I did about 5 to 10 rounds with the 9-inch, and I just felt like I was too, like, claw hand. Like, I just felt like I was too tense. So the 12-inch is easier, but I still feel a little like, ugh, when I work on it. So I might buy like a 40-inch needle that I can magic loop this hat on instead. Or I could go back to DPNs. I started this hat on DPNs because it's a center top start, which I taught myself a new skill. I taught myself the crochet pinhole start to do this hat, and I followed a nitty natty tutorial here on YouTube. So I could switch back to the DPNs, which I like stitching on DPNs. So I could do that, or I could try magic loop, or I could just keep going with these 12-inch circulars. We'll see what happens. So basically it looks crazy right now. It looks like a little, like, I don't even know what it looks like, but I have made it through all of the initial increases, and so now I'm on like the body of the hat, and so I'm gonna knit this to the length, which I think, like, I measured his head. I like got the tape measure out. I even measured like a beanie that he has that he likes, and so I think I need this to be 7 inches long to hit where, or is it 8 inches? I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look at my chart. But I think I need to knit about 8 inches, and then I'll put this on like waste yarn and like make him try it on to make sure it's the right length before I start the other half and do the striping and all of that. So yeah, so this is just plain old stockinette in the round once I'm done once I've finished the increases. So this kind of gives me the feeling of like sock knitting. It's just a bigger sock. It's kind of like a double size sock with the amount of stitches, because it's like a little over 100 and something, and my normal sock is like 64. So yeah, I don't know. It's fun. I just can't decide if I really love, well, I know I don't really love stitching on these, so I can't decide if I'm going to keep going with these 12-inch or if I'm going to switch to DPNs or magic loop. I'll figure it out. So anyways, I want to have this hat done for him by our December trip, so it's not urgent, but you know, I got it started, and I think it's going to look really cool with some red striped in there for him, because that's what he wants. So yeah, oh, I guess I should say I'm stitching this on US size 2. Do I have a number printed on these for me? 2.5 millimeters. 2.5 millimeter needles. And yep, that's the hat project. And then I have one other knitting whip that I worked on a little bit over the past 2 weeks, and it is my Barbie sweater. And that's what I'm calling this bright pink craziness. So here is where I'm at. I don't remember if I had split for the underarms last time I showed this to you. But I have split the underarms, and I have about 2.5 inches under the arms done. I did try this on a few days ago, so I think I have a picture to put in right here. And I think it's fitting pretty well. The underarms feel a little bit tight, but I also feel like the neckline feels a little bit high, and everything will kind of stretch with blocking. So I'm not really too concerned about it. It fits. I don't think it's going to be too tight. I just think the armholes are maybe a little bit tighter. And I think I even went a 1/2 inch bigger on the armholes. But when I measured like from here to like my underarm, it came out to the pattern specified length. So I didn't want to lengthen it too much, but I was like, let me just add a little bit of length just in case. So I'm glad I did that, but it does feel a little bit tight. So we'll see how everything blocks out. I am stitching this on size 4 needles. Again, I don't remember my millimeters. And I'm using Madeline Tosh Sport in the color Pop Rocks, which is not really a color I think that's available, or a yarn base that's available anymore. This is old yarn that I rescued from a different project. And yeah, oh, I didn't tell you the pattern name. This is the DRK Everyday Sweater by Andrea Mowry. And I am knitting, what size am I knitting? The 4th or 5th size. I can't remember. I think there's a size for a 49.5-inch bust. And I think my bust is 47 inches, but it called for like 1 to 2 inches of positive ease. So that's the size I'm knitting. I don't know. I've noticed that like knitters always talk about what size they're knitting. So I guess I'm just like going to get over my vanity and whatever, talk about what size I'm knitting. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Yeah. So that is where my little Barbie sweater is at, and I love it. So maybe this I'll take with me, because this is just straight up stockinette on the rest of this body, you know, and I think I have to knit about 10 inches of body before I do the ribbing. So, I mean, this would be the perfect plain stitching. Although it is a little bit bulky, so who knows? We'll see what I take. And I have this one stored in my little sweater tote bag that I made a couple weeks ago. And I've also just been keeping my hat project in here because I don't have enough project bags. Although I guess I have this empty sock bag. Maybe I'll put, yeah, okay. Maybe I can put my, my new hat project in this little bag. See if that fits. Okay, perfect. Now my hat project has a new home. Yeah, okay. I think, is that all the knitting? I think that's all the knitting. I've been working on so many different craft projects the last 2 weeks. It's kind of unreal, but I've been having a lot of fun with it. I have a little bit of haul. I'm looking around and trying to remember what all is haul. I think it's mostly knitting haul. One of the things, when I talked about my knitting several weeks ago, somebody commented, and I should have found your comment. Maybe I can find it when I'm editing. But she commented that her daughter makes progress markers and stitch markers, like handmade, and sells them on Etsy. And I was like, let me go have a peek. And so I ended up getting a couple of little stitch markers from, let me get the store name, Sam's Tiny Trinkets. Yeah, so cute. And so here are the two little, oh, let me make sure they're, look how cute they are. So I have this little popsicle and then a little PB&J sandwich. Fun fact about me, I love an Uncrustable, which is the little pre-made PB&J sandwiches that you can get at the grocery store. Love an Uncrustable. So anyways, I just thought I had to get a little PB&J sandwich for one of mine, and then this little cutie popsicle, which it's backwards now, but it has a cute little face and a bow, or a little strawberry on it. Look how cute! Okay, anyways, that's part of my haul. I also got some yarn. I have 2 local knitting stores that I know about here in Austin. If anyone else knows of any other cool stores in Austin, let me know. But we have Hill Country Weavers, which is downtown, South Austin. And I haven't been there in forever. I used to go fairly often, like mid-2000s, 2010, 11 time frame when I was knitting a lot. And when I was in college, because it was like halfway between my college and my parents' house, so I would like stop on my way in, but I haven't been in forever, and they're in a new location too, and I really need to go check it out. I just haven't been. And then we have another knitting store that's a little bit closer to me in Central Austin called Gauge Knits, and again, they've been around, I think, at least 15 years at this point, and that's where I went on Labor Day. On Monday they were open, and so I was like, let me go to the yarn store. But while I was Googling, I did see that there is a new one in Georgetown, which is like 20 minutes north of me. So I need to go check that one out, but they were not open on Labor Day. So that was like kind of my free, you know, I was off work and wandering around wanting to shop. So I need to find some time to go check out the one in Georgetown. But if anyone else knows of any cool yarn shops around here, please let me know. But yeah, let me show you what I got at Gauge. So I only picked up 2 things at Gauge, the same yarn. I got 2 balls of this Baracco Ultra Wool DK. They had this on clearance, and they had a swatch knit up, and I really did like the feel of it. It is a, let's see, what is the fiber content? It's 100% superwash wool. Okay, I thought it was an acrylic blend, but no, it's just 100% superwash wool by Baracco. It was $9.38 on clearance. And so I got 2 colors, or 2 balls of this color. I thought it had a color name, like chili pepper. Yeah, chili. It's called Chili. And I have some more yarn on the way to go with this because I really want to make the Leith cardigan. So this is a new to me knitting YouTuber that I've been watching, and I found her pattern actually before I found her YouTube. But this is a new pattern called the Leith cardigan, and one of her test knitters knit it in this red, pink, and white combo, and I fell in love with it. So I went to Gauge knowing that I wanted to look for DK weight yarn because that's what this cardigan is knit in. And so when I saw these, I was like, you know what? This comes in a ton of different colors. This will work. So I got the Ultra Wool in the red there, but they didn't have a pink or a white with enough quantity. So I think I just got on yarn.com like webs and ordered it. It's on the way. I don't have it yet, but I ordered the white and pink I need so that I can make myself that Leith cardigan. And I want to cast that on like immediately. But anyways, that's what I got from Gauge. Oh wait, no, I got one other thing from Gauge. I got a sock yarn while I was there too. This is Araucania Yarns Huasco sock, and it is a 75% superwash, 25% nylon. And here is what it looks like. So beautiful. It's just like a really soft, pale kind of gray purple with speckling throughout. I just love it. I have no plans. I don't know what, it'll become a pair of socks, I'm sure, but I just thought it was pretty and I wanted it. So, okay, that's what I got from my local yarn shop. And then I needed to order the yarn for Rob's hat. So I got on Eat Sleep Knit and ordered that Sweet Georgia yarn and the Madelinetosh yarn. And then I also just threw in a skein of Hedgehog Fibers sock. Let's see. Yeah, it's called Hedgehog Fibers sock yarn. And it is just a 90% merino wool, 10% nylon. And it does say it's machine washable, so it must be 90% superwash merino. Yeah, and it's in the color Mulberry. And oh, look at it. It's so pretty. So the scarf I'm knitting is out of Hedgehog Fibers, and I just fell in love. Okay, well, my camera died, so we had to switch to my cell phone to end this video. I was talking to you guys about this yarn. This is Hedgehog Fiber sock yarn in the color Mulberry. And I was just explaining how in love I am with their colors from that sock yarn. From the scarf yarn, the Aran weight yarn. And I just really wanted to try their sock yarn. So I got this gorgeous, deep purple, pink, yellow, goodness. Again, I don't have a pattern picked out for this, but I just wanted it. So I bought it. And I don't think I have any other haul. I bought fabric at the quilt store that I showed you guys because I already started that quilt, and I don't know, I guess I haven't bought anything else this week. Go me. I know I have stuff on the way because I've been ordering things, so that'll be fun to talk about in 2 weeks. Okay, so I think this is where I am going to end the video. I'm going to go settle into the couch with a project and some football, and then we have Benny's birthday party later. And then I need to do all my laundry and start packing for my trip next week. So yeah. Oh, and I got to edit and get this video up for you guys to watch. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and follow me on Instagram if you want to keep up with the trip. I'm actually going to try and film some clips to put in the next video. If I film enough, maybe I'll make its own video, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. So anyways, I'll see you back here in 2 weeks. See you then. Bye.